On Christmas Eve in 1968, the Apollo 8 astronauts were closer to the moon than any human being had ever been before. From his lunar orbit, Command Module pilot Jim Lovell observed, "The moon is essentially gray." These words, which might have been relegated to a footnote in the history of space exploration, resonate with Omega and inspired the name of the Speedmaster Gray Side of the Moon. The case, forged in a plasma reactor at a mind-numbing 20,000 degrees Celsius for 3 hours, is bombarded with hydrogen, methane, and argon. The result is a chemical transformation from zirconium oxide to zirconium carbide, a tribute to inspired science, unique technology, and the design legacy of a great brand. The sandblasted platinum dial is another marvel. This treatment recalls the unique iridescence of the lunar dust, whose muted shades so enchanted the Apollo 8 crew nearly half a century ago. The Omega Speedmaster Gray Side of the Moon is a tribute to their pioneering spirit.
Hi everyone and welcome to Bear Clooney Watches channel. This watch blew my mind. In all honesty, it is exceptional. I was craving ceramic timepiece for a while, debating between IWC Top Gun ceramic, but then this just appeared on my wrist and it could not leave. I had to have this watch, and it truly brought new and exciting feelings about old iconic Speedmaster. Why is that? Let's take a closer look at this watch. And here we are at Bear Clooney Watches studio, and I'm genuinely hoping that I will be able to properly present this wonderful watch and show you why is this watch getting me all excited and why do I say that it truly blew my mind. This is a watch fully ceramic case, and I think this is the attribute that I want to kind of talk about. The watch comes from the Omega line of the sides of the moon. You can see them original 3 here, and the first one that came out in 2013 was the dark side of the moon. Beautiful watch. Following the dark side of the moon is a gray side of the moon, and this is the watch that I will be presenting today. And the original trio was concluded with the white dial of the moon, which I kind of see as a great choice for the ladies' watch. Then kind of the offspring, the watches that came out of it as well in its full ceramic case is this beautiful blue dial with the romantic moon phase and very unique gray side of the moon with a meteorite dial, which makes it so much more unique. Truly, a great interpretation of the iconic timepiece from Omega. Now, we are going back to the gray side of the moon and my choice for my first ceramic timepiece in my collection. So, why hesitation? Why did I take so long to add ceramic timepiece? Well, let me tell you. I would like to illustrate that with a comment from my son, Cat Clooney, whose first observation of ceramic timepiece, fully ceramic case, felt, in his words, as looking at a toy watch made out of plastic. And I kind of see that. I mean, the weight, the hue of the watch, and so on, it can be interpreted in such a way. I also looked at it kind of as a semi-exotic material, not much different than, let's say, bronze or tantalum or aluminum or titanium or brass or PVD coated watches. But then this watch appeared, and what I found in this timepiece was that Omega managed to create a ceramic piece with all the positive attributes of the ceramic case, yet to achieve a metallic hue, which made the watch look brilliant, made it look so appealing. So the watch was carrying in itself the attributes of the metallic hue with the ceramic qualities. So then I still hesitated. Why? It was the watch size. Its 44.25 millimeter diameter was kind of concerning to me. So what happened? One day, while waiting for my supposedly first choice as a ceramic timepiece, which was the IWC Top Gun, I put this watch on my wrist and I fell in love. And there, this watch took the crown as my first ceramic timepiece. Isn't it beautiful? Isn't this watch just glorious? But is it just the aesthetics? Well, let me tell you, there was a couple of things that stood out immediately to my liking. First, it was obviously the aesthetics and the metallic hue of the watch. The colors of the watch were very appealing to me. The dial was gorgeous. With its platinum sanded dial, it truly reflected the way I imagine surface of the moon. The other thing that was kind of beautiful and I immediately liked it was the quality of the strap. This crocodile strap with its so cool complementing color to the watch and the quality which is undeniable, with attention to the detail that even of the back is stitched in a way that complements this beautiful watch. And then the clasp, which is fully ceramic as well, and it's done in such a tasteful and precision-like way. And then, on the top of it, a movement. Such a beautifully decorated movement with very cool and intriguing signings of the important components of the movement. So for the movement novice, in a way, because I'm not a watchmaker, it adds to the pleasure of observing through the sapphire back this wonderful, wonderful coaxial movement. So, you know what? I have to say that this watch had much more than what appeared in a first moment. Let me put this watch on my wrist so you can actually get a good idea why do I say that the watch after was on my wrist made a lot of sense even because of its larger size. And here you can observe the watch on my wrist, which is 7.25 inches. Because of its short lugs, because of the way it's built, it truly sits beautifully on the wrist, and it has such an elegant, such a powerful presence. The color and everything just strikes out. It is just gorgeous. Once it was on the wrist, all the fears relevant to its size of 44 millimeter disappeared, and watch felt right. So from that point on, it wasn't very difficult to fall in love with this watch. The only fear has disappeared. So focus was now on the beautiful dial, on the beautiful ceramic bezel, of the polishing of this watch, which is achieved in a magnificent way on the ceramic, on the hue that was just perfect, and on the movement on a leather strap. Let's continue. Look at the movement in this beautiful watch. This is just beautiful. This is the fantastic Omega in-house caliber 9300. It is chronometer certified, column wheel, coaxial movement that beats at 28,800 beats per hour, contains 54 jewels, and has a power reserve of 60 hours. The movement is beefy, and a display back is obviously included, which I highly appreciate. So that adds to the total thickness of the watch, which is 13.25 millimeter. The strap is breathtaking. And while looking at this watch and looking at this strap, the thought that crosses my mind is how much bothers me sometimes when the quality of the strap is not matching the watch, or vice versa, when there is just not a flow of luxury. And this watch and this strap are certainly a luxury in every component of it. There was a lot of thought put into typically unexciting part of this strap. So you can see the durable rubber buckle holes that will allow for a longer lasting piece. This is a key on a big watch that requires a lot of flexing in order to thread the strap through the buckle. You also see in the back, as I mentioned, this red stitching, which is showing attention even to what's not openly shown once you're wearing your watch, but attention which is true luxury, attention that complements the red touches on the watch. I think that's outstanding. And then the little tang that sits, the little trick from Omega basically, a little tang. You see, let me try to do this. Do you see that? Do you see that? The little tang, little protrusion, which is used to lock onto the last buckle hole and therefore stops from the sliding once the watch is on the wrist. What a attention to detail. And then the buckle top. It's sublime. Look at that. I like traditional buckles, and this is a beautiful one made from the same ZR02 material as the case, which means it will certainly resist the scratching. Some serious finishing on this watch. Some absolutely superb finishing. Okay, let's talk about the dial, and let's take a look. So when taking a look at the dial, we see that Omega tried to create a dial surface which is truly similar to a lunar landscape. As I mentioned, it's entirely bead blasted platinum, and it has a consistently grainy look that all at once can look both matte and mildly metallic. And I love the color of it, I really do. It is something you just want to stare at, and it feels almost like it's a piece of art. It adds also kind of a mystique feel about these dreams that we have, about dreams about the moon surface. At least that's in my case. The registers are sunken into the dial. You see they have this depth. Take a look, I'm going to angle it so you can actually understand what I'm talking about. And that adds some depth along with the applied hour markers. You see they're applied hour markers. And you know what? They're almost gray color as the hands. Such a flow on this watch. Regarding contrast, Omega thoughtfully adds a touch of red, which is presented in its logo, in its Speedmaster font, and the tip of the chrono hand. Let's engage the chrono hand. As you can see, look at that tip and the Speedmaster. The Omega gray side of the moon has sold me on the automatic Speedmaster. For the longest time I had a version mainly because of the speed reduced and its inferior movement, but this movement on this watch and this interpretation of the iconic Speedmaster brings the faith into the automatic chronograph. My other reason for typically disliking the dual register pieces is the lack of the hour measurement. Well, this 9300 caliber has its covered that uniquely. And you will see that that's right here on this register. You have actually minutes and hours. There are two hands on the top of each other like that. And then the minute hand will move, hour hand will follow. It's such a unique solution to that register, and adding to reducing the clutter, yet keeping functionality in its original meaning. So as this chronograph progresses, you will see the minute hand moving, and beneath it is the actual hour hand. Very cool solution. And I think this is a truly noteworthy movement, even though the finish of this watch is machined. It is absolutely gorgeous. I love the Geneva waves, and I think they're gorgeous. I really do. It's not a simple piece. This is not a simple piece, yet solutions are wonderful, simplifying the flow. And it's luxury in every single component of this watch. So, this watch managed to sell me on two very important things. And that is the ceramic can be beautiful. And that automatic chronographs can be amazing. This is a luxury Speedmaster. This is ceramic luxury interpretation of iconic timepiece in its best. And I would highly recommend this watch, which clearly can compete with, let's say, Rolex Daytona, and it's coming from the Rolex fanboy. So I hope I was able to bring closer to you the beauty, the quality, the luxury appeal of this watch, and I hope that you enjoyed this presentation. We're going back to Bear Clooney's cave to wrap up this video. I hope it wasn't too long for you. And we're back at Bear Clooney's cave. 1 year is behind us, 2019. I hope you had a wonderful year, and I hope the next one is even better. May your star shine so bright and lead you in the right path. All the best to all of you.